Hello everyone, my name is Nicoya and this is Minecraft. And so, in other obvious news, I am playing Minecraft. And we can see there are many blocks and very blocky terrain and very bad chunk boundaries because these are old chunks made in an old version and these are newer chunks with lapis in it. As you can tell, I've been playing this map for a long time and down into the mines we go. So, as you can see, I've sort of recreated the Mines of Moira down here in the search of diamond and lapis and all that good stuff. But what I am here to show you today, in fact, is upstairs in the second level, where we have a bit of redstone and a lovely little bunch of circuits and some Drawbridge stuff there. And the reason I want to show you this today is because of a video by one Jordan, aka Captain Sparkles, who did a similar video showing off the new, what do you call these? Oh, I'm good at this, aren't I? The trapdoors and a combination lock system, which I have recreated in a modified form here. And the reason I did that, first of all, was because of his combination lock mechanism, which I did not approve of very much. Because if you look in his video, which I will hopefully link from the description if I remember, you will notice that in his combination lock, he had a bunch of RS NOR latches, which is exactly what you want, but the way he had them configured is would not actually reset any of the latches when you hit an incorrect button. And so if you hit button 1 and button 3 and button 2 and then button 3, as long as you eventually got them in order with his combination lock, the lock would unlock, and that's not very secure. And so it just goes to show you, never send a programmer to do the job of a mathematician. And thankfully, I am a mathematician. And so I have made my combination lock much more secure in that it will only unlock if you press the buttons in the correct order, and pressing them out of order will, in fact, reset the lock back to its original state. And so you have to go back and press them in the correct order again. And as you can see, of course, I didn't bother actually mixing up the order, so the combination is just 1, 2, 3, which is possibly also not secure, but I'm sure you can figure out how to permute the inputs when you design this on your own. So the important part here now is the system that resets the buttons, or the internal state when you press an incorrect button. And as we can see up here on the second level of the circuit, we have the forward reset circuitry. And as you can see, this redstone here is connected to each button in turn, and I'm using these repeaters as diodes essentially. They only let the redstone flow in one direction. So as you can see, if we hit button 1, the redstone here activates, and then activates each of these lines downstream of it. And as we can see, we can come down here, and I really hope he fixes that bug. Thank you, Notch. Comes down here and resets our latches, which I have done here in orange. We can see the reset line coming down here in blue. And so whenever we hit the first switch, all the latches downstream from that will reset. And so if we hit anything out of order, if we hit 1, 2, and then 1 again, it won't help if we hit 3 because the latch on 2 has been reset. And now on the back side, what we have is the reverse reset. And as we can see, coming under this green and blue part here, we have redstone from the button coming down here through a delay this time, and then out to this circuitry in the back, which is basically the same as the circuitry up top. It just has the signal propagate down to all the previous combination circuits, so that each of these, if I press the third button, the second and the first latches here, which I've done in orange in this case, will be, of course, reset. And let me see, I can actually demonstrate that. If I hit first one, we can see that this latch triggers. And now, if I hit the second one, we can see this latch enables, but then this latch is reset. You can see this torch is on instead of this one. This is in the active state, that is in the inactive state. And now I can show you, if we go back and hit the first latch again, then this latch resets, which is exactly what we want. So we couldn't go onto the third latch. Couldn't go onto the third latch. We see that nothing actually happens. The latch just stays in its inactive state. So the other component here that I have, of course, is this gate right here, which is an AND gate. It doesn't really look like one because it's sort of compressed and squished a little bit because of the way Redstone works. But I can assure you it works exactly the same as a regular AND gate. We have this input here from the previous section, which will enable us, when we hit this button, you can see that this torch goes out, allowing the redstone there to deactivate when this activates, which activates this torch and sets our latch. And so now we come to, that's basically the combination lock part. Now we come to the actual drawbridge part, which is this here. And as we can see, I didn't actually bother digging out and putting flaming hot lava in the bottom here because this floor is actually only 2 blocks deep and I would have had to, it's a pain in the ass. Anyways, so the idea is you come up here and you walk over this stone pressure plate, which triggers the these two hatches to open. As you can see, if we go forward, we fall into the lava. I'm dying. You get the picture. And the idea here is that we have this button halfway through the bridge, which we have to press to proceed. And we can see that drops the bridge. We can go along just fine. We can go back, and if someone else comes behind us, of course, the bridge goes up again. But since the combination has been entered, the bridge goes down. And so now, to demonstrate what happens, I'll hit the reset switch here. If some ne'er-do-well comes along and doesn't input the proper very simple combination and presses the switch, instead of the bridge going down, this section comes up and I fall into the lava, which you will use your imagination to fill in, and I die because I'm a horrible person. And so that is basically that part of this demonstration. Now, another thing I wanted to demonstrate to you, actually I should probably show how this part works here. So obviously we have this latch here for the front of the bridge, this latch for the rear of the bridge, and what we have back here is the enable circuit from our combination lock. As you can see, it goes to these two AND gates. This one's a bit of a mutant just because it's sort of, well, I wanted an inverting AND gate, and so I didn't put the usual NOT input on this, and so when this is active, this will block this AND gate from actually activating, instead of where it usually is, where this inactive would block the AND gate from working. Play around with it, you can figure it out on your own, I'm pretty sure. This one's much more normal, except that I come off the side of the redstone torch here to be able to get into this straight, because redstone just works that way. So yeah, so as you can see, if the enable switch is turned on, then this AND gate will be able to activate by the switch coming down here into here and switching this, which will lower this part of the drawbridge. But if the enable switch isn't activated, then this AND gate will trigger, triggering this switch, and of course dropping us into the flaming hot lava. So now the other thing I wanted to demonstrate here was a way of activating a section of bridges without actually having any blocks missing on the side with exposed redstone. As you can see here, I have redstone exposed on the side, and it's not really the prettiest thing, especially if you're in an adventure map. You want to keep sort of the illusion going that you don't want to expose all your circuitry and whatnot. And so as we can see here, what we have is we have a completely sealed hallway, and again, you'll just have to fill in the flaming hot lava with your imagination, because I'm a lazy person. And we have drawbridges that activate and deactivate through the redstone torches below. Now, unfortunately, it's a little tricky to actually, excuse me a second. Ooh, little tickle in my throat. Now, unfortunately, it's a little tricky to do this because of the way that redstone feeds into blocks. Because if you try to feed redstone directly into a single block, it works just fine. Like we have here, this feeds in just fine. But if you have two pieces of redstone next to each other, as I'll be able to demonstrate down here, And we can see this is feeding in right now and keeping the bridge down. If we have another piece of redstone next to this, you can see that it no longer connects through this block. It's kind of annoying, but that's just the way it works. So the way I did it here is I set up this system of alternating repeaters and redstone, which prevents the redstone from connecting on the sides and instead shoots the redstone signal directly into the block, sort of more directly. This is a trick I'm sure you've probably seen in other places. You can just see the redstone coming around from the switch, goes through the NOT gates. Now you can actually replace these repeaters here with just redstone. There's nothing wrong with that, other than the fact that the bridge will react in a slightly delayed manner and make a whole lot more noise because the redstone is no longer in sync. There's a minimum of a one period delay from the redstone repeaters, and so using the repeaters here and the extra torches just makes it a little bit smoother operation. And we'll just put those back. And oops, hello. There we go. And yeah, there we go. Also, if I click the right button. And there we have it. So we have our redstone drawbridge, and as you can see, it also works feeding on either side of where your trapdoor is hooked up. So you can have it hooked up, hinged on this side or on this side, and you have your lovely row of torches below. Now, of course, you might ask yourself, well, do we really need these torches below? Can't we just feed into these blocks here? And the answer is yes and no. Unfortunately, while it works to feed into the back of the block directly if you're feeding it in with just a line of redstone, for example, if I put down a block here and I'll put down some redstone here. Now, turn that off for a second. Now, if I put down a torch here, you can see that this works. But unfortunately, let me just grab a repeater out of here. Probably should have built one first. Unfortunately, if we replace place this redstone with a repeater, oops, put that in the right way. Oh, hang on, that's not going to activate properly. Right, I'm going to, hang on, I'll just grab that switch off of here. Probably should have been more prepared for this, but yeah, what's a YouTube demo without being a little rough around the edges? So, put that there. So now we can see that, hang on, get rid of that. There we go. Oops, there we go. You can see that unfortunately the repeaters will not feed into this block unless there is some sort of redstone element on there. Like if we put that there, it actually works, but then again, if that's there, it either has to be on top or on the side, and kind of defeats the purpose of having no holes in the side of your tunnel full of drawbridges. Now, if you don't want the redstone and you only want the drawbridge one layer wide, what of course you can do is you can feed it in with redstone and simply feed it in on alternate sides. That would work perfectly without the torch here. So we just feed one here, and one here. And then on the other side you would feed the ones in the middle, and that would work. But of course, then you'd have the drawbridge. You'd be restricted to one. You wouldn't be able to make a too wide drawbridge, and these would have to be hinged on alternate sides, and it might look a little silly. I kind of like it with the torches underneath. It looks sort of neat. So anyways, I hope this helps you in your drawbridge creation adventures and your combination lock making adventures, and I hope Captain Sparkles learns to make better redstone circuits. And I'm just kidding, slagging on him. He seems like a great guy, and I hope he makes lots more videos because I really enjoy watching them. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and that is that.